I am fantastic, mate. How are you?
Right. Yeah, good, mate. Good to catch up and have a bit of a chat. I like it.
Yes. Now I'm actually on an army base. I'm actually
I was
in,
gonna say, oh, you're in a prison or something. Come on,
this isn't my normal digs. I'm actually in the army, so I can
mate. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
stop at you. But what I
Yeah, no,
what I can say is your beautiful voice was booming across our base this morning because I have amazing taste and they're very thankful. So when I listen to music, everybody listens to music. So half the base was listening to Begins here this morning.
oh, mate, you're a champion. I love your work, dude. I really do. And mate, can I just say, I am friends with a few members of the SAS and a couple of the commandos, and can I just say, I truly love that our music has transcended into your ranks because it means a lot to me, and the fact that you put your life on the line to look after me and my family and my fellow countrymen and women means a lot to me. And when I say thank you for your service, that I really mean it, mate.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Cheers.
Are you getting it? Don't you? Are you getting a bit misty there, my man?
I mean, a little. I've been a fan of yours since like Jesus, what, '03 when the original album came out. And it's funny,
Man,
man. It just hit me. So I just went
yeah.
and got to see the Mighty Sun
Oh,
show.
man, were you there? I was there on Saturday night. Can I tell you, it was the tits.
Were you at the Triffid? So
Yeah.
I was at the gig previous the previous
Oh,
weekend.
Mose.
And oh, holy shit, man. That
Yeah.
I've wanted to hear Lift live since Jesus Christ. Since 1999. I would have been what, like 14, 15. So it was
Yeah.
not a dry
But
eye.
it was an epic experience, and it was a religious experience because I've known the boys for a long time. For me to go and see it with standing in a room full of people that are like-minded, and it brings you together. And that's the thing that I think people forget about is music brings us together. There's more that binds us, and there's more that we have in common than separates us.
Hmm.
So, and when we stand together in a room and watch a band, we are one. Do you know what I mean? And that's it is, and I hate to say this like this, and I'm not referring to any particular god or any particular metaphysical like ethos. It binds us together in a religious experience, which is music. Do you know what I mean? And it really is an amazing thing. And I've never felt more close to my fellow humans than I have when like you say, when we go and watch a band together. And then when I'm on the other side and when I'm the guy on the stage, I'm acutely aware of what brings us together and what binds us. And that is the artistic, like the frequencies, it's the vibration.
Hmm.
And I really hold that very dear and I take it very seriously. So when people are like, oh, you're just saying that, I'm like, nah, man, I'm not just saying that. So when I bump into people after a gig and I give them a hug and they're like, oh man, you don't have to do that. I'm like, no, I have to, because we've
Hmm.
spent some amazing moments together, even though via proxy, even though through the airwaves and through the sonic waves, we have hung out together more times than people can understand. And so when they say, oh dude, I'm like, no, man, this is important to me to physically hang on to you and give you a cuddle. Because like we've spent some time together. It's great. I love it.
There's something, and it became really apparent. So I'm a recovering alkie, and so I'm been sober 4 years. And the first gig I ever
Good
went to
man.
sober, cheers, man,
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
was Sepultura, and it was at Eaton's Hill in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I remember just being, because I was so alert, for the first
Yeah.
time, because I was always
Yeah.
annihilated. And it occurred to me that I was like, wow, by paying the price of admission, I get to be there, and I'm pretty much, as far as we
You're
are away from
you're
it,
present.
Andreas Kisser. And I was like, we're here,
Yeah.
we're in a room, and it's for the next 2 hours or whatever it is. Like, I'm fucking right there, and it was
Yeah.
really intense. Yeah, it
How's
was.
that? It's palpable, man, isn't it? Because like you're present in the moment, like rather than being wasted and looking for your next drink or your next whatever,
Mm,
as we do, we go looking for other
mm,
things. You know what I mean? It's more about the moment and being in the moment than it is about anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was going to say, like, man, I've just seen Sunk Loto live. I'm interviewing Clint from the Butterfly Effect, and new metal is popular again. I don't know, when did we collectively decide we were going to give the early 2000s another go? Because frankly, I'm here for
Well,
it.
man, you know what? You know what's funny, man? Like, isn't it interesting how everything travels in cycles? Do you know what I mean? So, like, the fashion at the time, now, and which I'm still shaking my head about, is like the '90s, and I was like, I'm so glad that that fashion went away. But now, you've got people walking around in these just. Look, man, look, I'm not the most fashionable chap myself, but I was really glad when the '90s went away because I was there. I did it, and it's come back around again, but it's cyclic. So music comes back around again, fashion comes back around again, art comes back around again, for better or for worse,
Hmm.
and I'm glad we're still evolving. And I think that's something that in interviews people have been asking me about, what happened with the band, from back from the EP in 2001 to Begins Here 2003, Imago in 2006, 7, Final Conversation of Kings in 2008, 9. So everyone's been waiting like 14 or 15 years for this new Butterfly Effect album. People ask me what has changed in the band, and I just say we've evolved as people, as you do. You
Hmm.
you can't help but evolve because the world changes, you change, you grow and mature. And I'd like to think that we're in a better place now than we ever were, because we were so toxic with Final Conversation of Kings, hence the name. I think that
Hmm.
that album title really like was resonating with the the feeling inside the band room. Um, and it wasn't a great place, man. It was a very dark place, as as you said, like coming out of addiction.
Hmm.
And I think always addiction masks a trauma from the past. And that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? To me,
Hmm.
when you turn to alcohol, when you turn to drugs, when you turn to sex, when you turn to, anything, it's masking a trauma of something that happened to you in the past. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's why I want to be the most accessible musician on the Australian scene,
Hmm.
because I've heard people say, oh, I walked up to so and so from this band and they gave me nothing. I want you to know that I want to give you a hug. I want to hear your story. If you give me 5 minutes of your time, I want to give you 5 minutes of mine.
I could,
And together we can heal that. Do you know what I mean? Through
yeah,
music, we can heal a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's quite cathartic, because I always said music is therapy to me.
yeah.
And my lyrical content is therapy. And if you resonate with what I'm saying, and you and I can have a chat and say, man, this is my truth, and I'm telling you how I felt, and this is where I'm at, and I say this is where I'm at, and we can have a hug and hug it out. I love it, man, because we're bringing people together.
The first time I ever got to see you live, I was just a teenager, and it was, I believe, it was either Gone South or MS Fest. So I grew up in Tassie.
Oh, yes, it was
Yes,
MS Fest. Yeah,
that's the one.
dude, that was the
And
bomb.
that's it. And I remember seeing you guys and just being like, this is fucking nuts. And then I'm gonna say, yeah, this would have been 03, 04. And
Yeah,
I remember walking around in the crowd afterwards, and I realized, I was like, what the fuck? And you were just in there in the middle of the crowd, just having some bloke talk your ear off about, like, oh, you play
man,
that song Always. And I was like, what about that?
Tom, I remember that stuff, man. Can I tell you, there was a moment when we played, yeah, it was either Gone South or MS. You're right. I think Gone South was first,
Yeah.
and then
So this is
MS
fun
Fest was
stuff.
next. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I can remember like that day really clearly in my mind's eye. I don't know why it stuck with me, but I remember that day, and it was a pivotal moment because um just a lot of things happened in that day, and there was some really super significant moments that happened in my life as a
Mm,
young man, like getting around that festival. But I love Tassie, and this is interesting because people go, "What do you love about Tassie?" I cried one time when we left Tassie. I've often thought about moving there and buying a plot of land and just being off grid. So
mm,
Tasmania represents what is right and what is good in the world. And can I just say, it cops a lot of shit. And I just sit there and I go, you guys don't know because you've never been there and experienced the love of the people, the
mm.
warmth of the people. the beauty of the land, and it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of the landscape that we call Australia, and I'm so stoked to have it. And if you have never been there, it's hard to describe. It's like when people say God's country, like don't get me wrong, I'm not into that sort of thing. If you are, that's totally cool. But it is as close to the biblical sense of God's country. And I stick to that and I love it.
Wow, I like that. So, mate, I was looking up because I knew that the butterfly effect hadn't been around, for a while, but I'd
Mm.
never really actually kind of looked up, as to what happened, and I had no idea that you'd actually left. Now, we won't get into obviously any of the negativity, but one phrase that obviously did get thrown around is that old classic creative differences. Now,
Yeah.
I want to know, how did what was it like going back into the studio? Because I think one of the videos that I saw, one of your recent videos, is this footage of you guys in the studio, and you all look like you're actually having a brilliant time. So, like, what was it like this time around?
Yeah, man, it was amazing. Look, coming from where we've come from, and like I said to you about the evolution of the band, we've all matured, we've all had children, we all understand, our failings as humans, and moving forward, it was a very cathartic experience to look at each other across the room again and find the joy in writing music and the joy of being in each other's company. And Kurt and I have never got on so well
Yeah.
in the 22 years that Butterfly Effect have been an entity. And it was amazing. And because I've always loved Benny. Benny was the musical glue. He kept us together because we were just such yeah, we were just really passionate about what we were doing. And as you know, Tom, like when you're passionate about what you do, that creates conflict with others. It just does. It's just the
Mm.
way it is. You either push together or you push against each other, as you know what I mean? And being in the armed forces, I'm sure you've butt heads with, superiors or your infantrymen or whoever
Mm.
you're working with, because you put a bunch of alphas in the same room, you're going to get some blowback, and that just you push against each other sometimes. But that's what makes the music great. But this time, I took a different route. I was like, I want to cooperate more with the guys around me, therefore facilitating more cooperation for what I want push moving forward.
Mm.
And I wish that I had been a little bit more mature back then to get the best out of the people around me, as you would know. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So when you work with people, you get the best out of them. You can still get your way, but if you do it in a manner that speaks to the others, and they can see the good out of it and they can move forward with it, then everyone moves forward with it.
Yeah.
It's an awesome thing.
Um, Clint, I can tell, like, I think we can all agree. You're probably thinking, well, Tom, this has been a great interview, but it's all a bit highbrow. Well, don't worry, Clint, I'm about to fix that for you right now. You're taking Thornhill and Caligula's horse out on the road with you. Between yourself, Jacob from Thornhill, and Jim from Caligula, who's the most handsome?
Oh, gee. Oh, man. That's W. Get out, you. Look, I'm gonna say that you're the most handsome man.
Oh,
Yeah, on parade. But look, if I had to split hairs, oh, gee whiz, I'm gonna take Jacob on this one. I think he's got that look. Do you know what I mean? And
he's
I think he
definitely.
he can pull off a few looks. Like I've seen him go like full new metal. I've seen him go like, really interesting sort of more androgynous sort of look. I think any man that can pull off those sort of looks, he's the guy for me.
I got to see them at the Triffid on the earlier this year on the Heroin tour, and
Yeah,
oh my god, like,
man.
he's a
He's got some
showman.
pipes. Oh,
Yeah,
he's
man.
very good. He's very cool. But I cannot tell you, it's Caligula's horse. They've got some excellent melodies. They've got some really stomping hard like just some great music like that with a force, but it's Thornhill easily comparable. And I think like this particular build that we've got is fantastic. And I'm really super excited. I'm super stoked that we're actually taking out a lineup rather than, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just yeah.
No offense to any of the bands that we've played with, but I just think this is a really cool lineup. And I'm stoked.
Awesome, man. I cannot
Awesome,
wait.
Tom.
I am 6'7" and I don't drink, so I will be in the front row. So I will
Man,
be,
I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna be pointing at you. I'll be like, Tom, yeah,
you'll be
man.
seeing me very soon. So
That's
this is
killer.
unreal. Thank you so much.
Mate, thank you so. Can I just say thank you so much for your service? Thank you so much for your time. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure a lot of people out there. Yeah, no, I can't understate it. I can't overstate it. Actually, is the proper term. But mate, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Have a great day, mate.
Mate, you too. Awesome. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Cheers, mate.